Athwal. Devya, we're all yours.
Hello. It was meant to be money and mindset, but I am going to bring all that in. I changed it to motivation, so there might be a bit of overlap with Chris, but hopefully it will be from a different point of view. So who am I? I'm a mum to 3 boys, wife to Paul, and I've got a dog called Kobe. Now we've got all males in the house, but the toilet seat does remain down, which is a big plus. So I'm a business owner. I've got a recruitment and coaching business. I'm also NLP coach, but my background was I used to be an accountant many, many years ago. I am a workaholic. I'm going to make no, kind of apologies for it. I love work because I don't see work as work. And I'm generally the cleaner upper as well. So going around and making sure things are okay. Love culture, love travel, love the outdoors, and I love boot camping and swimming. So today is all about motivation. I'm going to do a little framework on motivation and some tips on a motivation strategy for yourself and some next steps for yourselves. Okay, so have you ever had that Monday morning feeling? You know, that feeling where you just don't want to get out of bed, that feeling of dread, that when you get up, you're thinking, oh, I've got so much to do. Or that feeling where you've got maybe a boss that you know they're going to pile all their stuff on you, or that you're going to meet that colleague that you just think, oh, I really can't be doing with them this week. Have you had that feeling? Come on, let's have a show of hands. Let's be honest. Definitely. Now, that feeling, according to the UK Careers Fair, that Monday morning feeling is where people feel undeniable feeling of apathy, loss of motivation, feeling lethargic, and actually that can lead to depression. And research has shown that this is the biggest stressor for our corporate world at the moment, and also for entrepreneurs. So how do we get our mojo back is the question. And I think we have to go back to, actually, it comes down to motivation. And what is motivation? If we look at it in the raw form, motivation comes from motive. It's the reason for doing something, for acting and behaving in a certain way, in a particular way. And I've done some research on this, and I'm going to bring some NLP work in as well. It comes down to 3 main things: needs, values, and goals. And motivation really is very unique to individuals because we're all living from our own model of the world. And those models of the world are based on our beliefs and also our values. And we're all wanting different things out of life. Okay, so we have to be very intentional about the outcomes that we want, out of our life. And so I'm going to go into a little bit of detail, but there was a bit of crossover with Chris, which is fantastic because it seems like we're on the same page. The needs element, Maslow has been, definitely top of the one on understanding human needs, and actually are they inspiring us to actually move ourselves forward. The first 2 at the bottom are very much about needs that we need just to survive. The safety needs, and also food, water, shelter. And actually, if we haven't got these, it's a massive demotivator because all we keep thinking about is in survival mode. We haven't got this, we need to get that. So you actually don't get yourself motivated on these aspects. It actually demotivates you. Whereas the top 3 are very much about motivating you forward, because it's actually not so much about you, it's more about everyone else. So the social needs about being loved and giving love, a sense of belonging. We saw it over the weekend, just that connection with the funeral. There was a sense of belonging and that kind of relationship and it was more about everybody else than ourselves. And then you have got the esteem needs in terms of respect, in terms of status, in terms of confidence building. And then the top of the tree is the one about you being who you are meant to be, on this earth. And actually, if you live in your true self, then you will be you'll just find your motivation just to get on and do it. And I think that really is where I'd love for all of us to be, really, including myself. And following on from that, there was a study done, and there is, if you want to do it for yourself, is actually understand what your motivators are. You can Google it. It's called Motivational Map. It's built on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but also under the 3 different types of kind of motivational issues. And they've come out as 3 different things that people are motivated by and driven by. One is relationships. The other is actually growth for yourself. And then the third is achievement, having the status, being the director, building, you know, your material wealth. So if you do want to, then by all means, you can have a look at that. The second element was values. Now, when we talk about values, and I'm going to bring a bit of NLP into this, values is made up of a set of beliefs. So the beliefs could be based on our experiences, our parents' thoughts. It could be what we've seen, what we expose ourselves on television. And actually, these values are what is important to us and what's not. And if you are congruent with your core values, actually, you are motivated to move yourself forward. And what we find in businesses is when individuals have their own core values and they go into a company and say, for instance, their core value is teamwork and they want to work with other people, but the company doesn't, they just want people to work in isolation, then actually what happens is your own value becomes compromised. Or if you've had an issue with trust, for instance, previously, and places that you go or people that you meet, you feel that they're not trustworthy, again, your values get compromised. And I would really strongly recommend that everyone actually do an exercise. It's a value elicitation exercise that you can do to really understand actually what your core values are. And you might start off with 20, but then you'll end up with about 4 or 5 which actually really resonate with yourselves, which we call other core values. So if your needs get met and you are true to yourself and your core values, then to really motivate you and move you forward is all about actually what's your future going to look like? What are you motivating yourself for? And that's setting goals. And the goals, a lot of people in the room probably know about the SMART goals, which is, you know, make sure your goals are specific, make sure that they're measurable, that you can attain them and that they're relevant to you, and also you put a time span on there. But maybe a lot of people don't know about the NLP model, which is a well-formed outcome. And this is actually seeing it before it's actually happened. It's actually being able to feel it and sense it as if it's already happened. It's actually putting it in a very positive state to say that, you know what, I've already won this. I've already got the goal. And it's something that really you should be able to control. So how do we go about doing that? So I would say that if you are going to look at your goals, let's do it. Let's imagine, visualize yourself with a goal that you want to be achieving in 3 months' time. It could be a personal goal, it could be a business goal. And actually visualize it yourself as if it's already happened. That you have already got that goal, whatever it might be. And I want you to picture yourself in your mind where you are when you've received that goal. How does it feel inside you? And actually, what are you hearing around you? And if you picture that and you feel it and you can attach an emotion to it, how do you feel? Do you feel excited? Do you feel elated? Do you feel happy? Do you feel, right, I'm going to go out and celebrate? Really get in tune with actually how you feel. Once you've done that, is actually make sure that your goal is moving you towards make sure that whatever you've set is moving you towards the goal rather than away. And also make sure that you're the person that takes responsibility for it and take ownership of that goal. So why am I talking about this? I'm talking about this because it was never always as it was. So for me, at the moment, I am in a really good place. I don't get that Monday morning feeling. But I'm going to take you back to a time in 2010. It was the 9th of July, 2010, and both myself and my husband were going to court. And we were going to court because we were taking our builder to court because he had started some work on our house. Well, I say started, been here 9 months, took 75% of the money and only completed 50% of the work, and faked a heart attack, and we took him to court. And in my heart of hearts, on principle, we really did think we were going to win. But a little legal statement called that the contract was frustrated meant that we lost, and we lost to the tune of 6 figures. And that actually was a massive blow to us. So suddenly my needs, in terms of my foundational needs, according to Maslow's, now I look back, were compromised. Would I lose my house? Would I have to take my children out of private school? Would I be able to put food on the table? So all of those needs were actually compromised. And I had to really dig deep to say, look, you're better than this, you can do this. My values, I really had to dig deep. What are those? I wanted freedom. I wanted to be able to trust people. I wanted to be in control of what I was doing. Family was important to me. So suddenly I've got my needs compromised and my values were really strong. And then I had to put some goals in place. Well, the corporate world wasn't going to provide me the opportunity of being able to get financially free again. So I thought, right, I've got options here. Do I stay where I am or do I set up the business? So I dug deep, knew what my skills were. Right, I'm going to set up a recruitment business. I've got enough contacts, I've got enough relationships to be able to, I've got enough of the know-how. It was very scary. I used that fear, turned it round, danced with it a bit, very nervous, and ended up setting up the business. So I look back and think those kind of jigsaw pieces were meant to be. But if I didn't know what my needs were, what my values were, what my goals were, there's no way that I would be where I am today. And that's not to big me up. It's just to say I never have those Monday morning feelings. And my question to you is, do you have those Monday morning feelings? And how can you make sure that you are living your best life, motivated, intentionally, making sure that you are the person that you're meant to be and have the goals so that you have the aspirations of where you want to be. So I'll send this to you. There's a little screen there on if someone wanted to do one on health, losing weight in 3 months' time. You know, what is the need? It's to be confident in yourself. The values could be that your health value is number one. Your goal in a very present and stated goal, I am 70 kilos. That's the goal that I want to be. You see it, you visualize it, and you put a time against it. You know, by the 11th of November, I'm entering the wedding of Maria. I'm 70 kilos, which is 5 kilos less than what I am. I'm looking great. I'm feeling great. I can hear the band moving, they're playing. And the very first step is the step that's going to get you near there. And that is to walk 10K every day. So look at all aspects of your life. What's important to you? Pick one and say, okay, what do I want to do in terms of motivating me forward? So remember, motivation is like energy. It's not something you get, it's something that we generate within us. And my name's Devya. If you want to have a free discovery call, 30 minutes, one-to-one, just to understand about where you are and where you want to go, then please get in touch. I've got my Linktree link there. Hopefully that's useful. But remember to shine your light, because we're all here to be beacons for others. Thank you.